everybody, it's me, Rebecca, and I am just waiting for the data guru to get done with work so we can go out to dinner. And I have spent the day running errands and thrifting and taking the dog to the groomer and doggy daycare and all of that kind of stuff. But today when I was at the thrift store, I really was thinking and looking back at how much my sourcing habits and my thrifting choices and how I navigate the store and what I do have evolved over the last 15 years. And one of the things that I think that it is because is truly from experience. I have had many years of experience with trying different things, losing money on stuff, ending up donating things, having great success with random items, and really being involved in the social media community has allowed me to find brands and things that I probably never would have picked up prior to seeing someone post about it on Instagram. However, I've also purchased stuff that people have said to buy on Instagram, and it has ended up costing me money because the items just sat and never sold. So it really depends on who your clients are, what your overall feel of your closet looks like, and you have to kind of fill your groove of what you like to shop for, what you're knowledgeable about, and where you want your expertise to be in the reselling world. So first thing that has really evolved since I started thrifting and sourcing as a job, like as a side business, is I'm much more strategic about when I'm in the store, how I use my time. So before, when I was just doing it as a hobby and just kind of looking for stuff, I would be on my phone, texting my mom, talking to so-and-so. I really wasn't focused on sourcing. And so now when I go, I either have my headphones on or I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I really spend time in the store looking at stuff. It gives me a little bit of I'm at work now, right? So you're putting your blinders on to say I'm at work now and I need to get this done. It also has eliminated a lot of time wasted just wandering around the store talking to my mom about what's going on in her life right now. So it's really allowed me to cut down my time in the thrift stores and find nice stuff that I probably overlooked because I was distracted in the past. The second thing is that I am looking at different areas for stuff that I want to buy. So the most obvious thing when you go thrifting is, okay, jeans are going to be in the jeans section, and Lululemon will be in the active wear, and these shoes will be in the women's shoe section. Well, if you're just getting started, that's not how this works. It's not like a retail store where everything is supposed to be organized. I have found some of my best thrifted items shoved in nooks and crannies or on the floor, women's clothes in the men's section. So you really have to eliminate that perception of what you plan on finding in what section. So it wasn't until I stopped constantly looking for Lululemon in the activewear section that I started finding it in the jackets, that I was finding it in the tank tops, in the lingerie section, even in the men's pajamas. I found a shirt. So it's not necessarily that stuff is not in there, but you have to remove the thought of where it's expected to be. So for instance, today I was in the thrift store and I was looking in the men's section and I found a pair of St. John women's pants that were in the smaller size of the men's dress pants. So you just never really know where you're going to find the items in the thrift store. So I have made a conscious effort now when I'm thrifting to go through, each section one by one, and I'm very quick about it. So it's funny, if you look at my Apple iWatch right now, it thinks that I took like 11,000 steps today, and really the steps were my hands moving like this on the racks looking for the brands and the items that I want. I've gotten really good at, flipping through things. And as you're getting started, it's going to take some time to notice the labels, pick up on the brands and that kind of stuff. So give yourself some time to learn, a learning curve for this. But if you're experienced, you know, for me, I can just flip through all these hangers and see Urban Outfitter brands, see Anthropologie brands, see that it doesn't say, you know, Athleta on it, but I know their logo, or Tory Burch. I just can see her logo and I know that that is something that I want to pick up. So that has also come over experience, but now I'm much more like, okay, I'm here for a reason. This is my job. And then I'm looking through all of these sections and I'm really trying to go as quickly as possible. The third thing is I'm looking in all of those sections, plus I'm doing double takes. So I started doing, when I first get into the store, and I'm very, it's very repetitive how I go into the different stores. So I'm typically a shoe and purse person first. I go there and I fill up the bottom of my cart with all the shoes. And then I look through the different sections depending on how busy it is. But that's typically where I always start. And in the thrift store by my house, the fitting rooms are right there by the shoes. So I look through the fitting room racks, like things people have returned because they didn't fit or they're not going to buy them. And then I go through the shoes, and then I go through the different sections of the thrift store. I always check those racks. The new racks they roll out, you want to make sure you can kind of peek through those. Most of the time people run up to them, but you know, if it's a quiet day or you know there's not too many people in there, usually you can just kind of mosey on over and look through it like I typically do. And then I always, at the end of my shopping experience, I do the same thing. I go back through the shoes, and then I go into the return section for the fitting room. So I look through all of those things. For instance, today I found 3 pairs of Danskos that were put out from the time I got into the store and the time that I was leaving the store. So I got 3 pairs of Danskos. They're pink, red, and I forget what the other one are, but they're really cute. They're actually my size. And then I found a pair of really cute jeans, 7 for All Mankind jeans, in the return rack. So once I go through the whole store, I wiggle my way back through the shoes, the purses, the return racks, and then I check out. Speaking of checking out, I have now started to take off all my hangers, fold up all the clothes, put them in their sections before I get to the register. It was taking an incredibly long amount of time for me to check out when I'm having 40, 50, 60, 100 items at a time. So now I find a bench, I sort through everything. It also gives me another chance to look at the items and see if I missed, you know, like a missing button or a stain or a hole, something like that. And that has also helped reduce my likelihood of buying damaged merchandise. So going through, sorting it all, I put all the jeans and the pants, I fold them up, the skirts, the dresses, blah, blah, blah. And then when I get to the register, I have everything is ready to go. And it's much, much faster to check out than to stand there and take one off the hanger, hand it to her, take another one, and then have the person behind you being like, you know, come on, lady, let's go. So being able to expedite my checkout process has also given me more time during the day to either, you know, do these boxes, go to another store. I've noticed that my Mondays, when I'm going to 5 or 6 stores in a row, you know, I'm much faster now that I've been doing it more frequently. So speaking of more frequently, when I used to do this before as a hobby, I would go sourcing like once every 2 weeks. I would buy a bunch of stuff and then I would spend like 2 weeks listing it. And I would say, oh my gosh, why are all these people finding all of this great stuff? You know, I'm not finding that. I can't find what they're finding. And I really used to beat myself up about that. You know, like, why can't I live in Washington, D.C. metro area. Why am I not finding these like great things and great brands? And I think truly it was because I wasn't sourcing enough. I wasn't in the stores enough. I wasn't in different stores. I wasn't going different places. And now that I've kind of I have expanded my horizon where I'm driving 30, 45 minutes to go to the stores. I'm spending more time in there. I have my strategy now for, going through the racks, how I'm working the store, how I am expediting everything. And it has helped tremendously. I'm finding Burberry, Tory Burch, soft surroundings, Lululemon. What else did I just find today? Dojos. More Anthropology, because I have time to look for all of those brands that they have in their store. So I'm really able to find I'm buying less stuff, but it's better stuff at each store. So cumulatively, I'm buying a few hundred items a week for my reseller boxes. And then I'm buying probably 50 pairs of shoes a week to list in my own stores right now. And so by going to the different stores, that has helped me find more stuff. I'm also going at different times of the day. So in the past, I used to go first thing in the morning when they'd open. I didn't want to deal with people. They open at 9. People didn't really think they open till 10. And I had the whole place to myself. Well, I kind of realized that they were putting out good stuff as the day goes on. And so now I've started going at night. Sometimes I'll go over there at 6 or 7 at night. Sometimes I do go over, but it's like at 10 in the morning. In this most recent time, I was at a thrift store at lunchtime, and then I was there at 2:30, 2 different stores around here. So I was able to kind of get in that midday where they're bringing fresh stuff out. I can look through the fresh racks, and I can still look through the racks that they have out. Now, once you get in the hang of all this and start practicing this, one of the things that I do, it's like a game I play in my head. I don't really like to listen to music. I do, but I don't when I'm sourcing, because I really want to think about the stuff that I'm buying. And I think that it's a distraction just for me. It's very weird. You'll notice during the day when I'm doing, well, maybe you don't notice because you're not with me, but I don't listen to music. It's like dead silence in my house, but it just gives me maybe it's because I have a chronic illness and sometimes the brain fog gets to me, but the quiet just is very peaceful to me. So, when I'm sourcing, I'm trying to make sure that I'm thinking about what I'm buying. One of the things I started to do most recently is I'm starting to feel the fabrics and not look at the labels, and then in my mind decide based on how the fabric feels whether or not it's a good brand or a bad brand. So what I mean by a good brand or a bad brand, like if I'm feeling a really nice tailored skirt, it should be, like a Theory skirt or an Ely Tahari or a not Ann Taylor Factory, but Ann Taylor skirt, J. Crew. It should be one of these really nice wool or silk skirts, and not Merona or some other random brand that I've never heard of. So that also allows me to keep my sense of touch in tune with what I'm doing. So I'm feeling the fabrics, and that allows you to go faster as well, because there are things that I have picked up simply because they felt like it was a good quality item, but I didn't necessarily know the brand. And either when I got home or when I Googled it, on my phone in the store, I was able to clearly see that this was a good brand. And so over the time, these are all things that I have done to evolve my business, evolve thrifting. Brands that I used to buy way back when, I don't buy anymore. I mean, I used to buy Abercrombie and Fitch all the time, but that was back when their jeans retailed for $120. Now their jeans in their store are like $39.95. So the resale value of them is just not there anymore. But you just have to learn these new brands. And so there are even brands that I have no idea. Like I picked up a pair of 1 teaspoon like booty shorts. I really only picked them up because I saw someone on Instagram and I had looked up the comps, and sure enough, they were a pretty good like summer brand to buy. So, I'm constantly learning. I'm really trying to educate myself more and more. If you really have no idea like what the expensive brands are in the different categories, an idea for you is to go onto Poshmark or go onto eBay and search a category. So let's say you want to know like what blazers are selling for. You're gonna go to, you know, women's blazers, whatever, whether you're on eBay or Poshmark, and then search by the solds. So you always want to search comps by the solds. It doesn't matter what people are selling them for. It matters what people are paying for those items. So, you know, there could be 5 people listing a pair of shoes for $100, and if they're only selling for $20, chances are yours are gonna sell more around $20, unless it's like this unfortunate incident with, you know, Kate Spade, where all of her stuff ended up being inflated and being more than what it was the day before she passed away. That's very rare. So you always want to search sold. So if you want to search by sold, search highest to lowest. So whatever the highest price is to lowest. And then I typically even go down, you can't do this on Poshmark, but on eBay, I even sort it down to new versus used. So I want to know, if I'm primarily buying used clothing, what is the highest price stuff that's selling for used clothing? So, you know, you'll probably get like St. John and Chanel and these kind of brands. So you can sort by price range, you know, what are the mid-range. You just want to play around with those sold listings, and it'll give you an idea too of some brands that you might not have noticed in the past, brands that you maybe have seen and you're like, oh, I really should have picked that up. For instance, one of those brands for me is Peruvian Connection. I have seen it many, many times in the thrift store, and I never picked them up until I started seeing some fellow resellers in the Instagram community posting solds of Peruvian Connection. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have made probably $1,000 on all of those sweaters that I passed up over the past couple years. So, you know, those are the kind of things that even now, after I have been doing this for a really long time, I'm still finding brands like that. It's always evolving, it's always changing, and it really is up to you to consistently adapt and grow and change to the new selling environment, the new, you know, the fact that all the prices at the Goodwills are going up, and you got to get creative, you got to get resourceful. And thrifting and reselling is not easy. If anyone ever tells you it's easy, it is absolutely not. It is a very challenging job. But for me, the reward truly is freedom, the ability to be my own boss, do my own thing, and you know, it's just really allowed me the freedom and the I don't know, like, it's just, for me to be able to have a chronic illness and still make money, contribute to my household, have a job, have a career, have a side business, that's what is really important to me. So I hope that some of these things and sharing my experiences of how I have evolved in thrifting have helped you and will help you in the future when you're going out and growing your business, or whether you're just getting started. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you would like a reseller reseller inventory box, they're available on my website, and that's bexabosslady.com/shop, or the link is in the description for this video. So if you like this video and you learned something, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.